play. Pull your microphone a little closer to you, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Are we literally live? I think we're literally live.
We got caught doing the repeater.
Yeah, literally. Someone got caught doing the repeater. How are we always going to bring in that movie? That's everything we do. That's better. Not as glary.
Is that not how we're going to officially start the podcast?
just random Super Troopers quotes. What do you guys think about that? Random Super Trooper quotes for this podcast? Sounds about right for what we do, because we are we're on that level. Yeah.
Well, I'm always in a fight with the local police. So you're not? Okay.
You're not. Yeah, no, I'm not. I learned how to not fight the police a while ago, Doctor. Okay. I want to move this. We're still getting
because we do things differently here, Spurbury.
Yeah.
No. Well, I guess we're live. I guess I'll start talking.
Fancy.
Yeah, we are actually live here. Welcome back. I'll do the intro this time.
You got it?
Yeah, I'll do the intro this time. We are back. This is the Aches and Gainz podcast. I am Dr. Hayes Estes, Doctor of Physical Therapy, owner of Premier Physical Therapy here in the Clearwater and Palm Harbor area. This lovely gentleman over here is my good colleague, Donnie Kieran. Donnie, tell the people who you is.
Who I is. All right, I'm trying not to have a big black thing in my face. All right, cool. Hi, I'm Donnie. I'm strength coach here at Strength and Performance Institute, located in Clearwater, Florida, Tampa Bay. And I love sitting down here 2-3 times a month with my good friend, Dr. Hayes, talking about foolishness and educated things all at one time. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit more, what do we call this? Legit with all of our microphone stuff and lighting, and we're getting there. It's slowly going around. I think maybe by the end of this year, we might actually be.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're gonna keep.
I'm gonna keep this as amateur as possible.
Bush League. Fantastic.
Bush League podcast until we get 50 subscribers. I think we're still at 49.
We're still there.
I don't know. I haven't checked actually.
No, we're at 50. I think today we're at 50.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I guess
we hit the big 5-0.
Today's the day I'm going to be professional.
I was not prepared for that. Let me go ahead and
mark that one down.
Mark that one down because if he does this, then I guess at some point I've got to.
Donnie, why don't you tell? You were a little frustrated earlier when you messaged me. Why don't you tell the people how difficult it is to actually do this nonsense that we do?
So before we started filming, I said something. I'm like, I'm going to stop making fun of Joe Rogan's producer guy that we always make fun of, just simply because we can. But
he's physically not here. Believe it or not.
Yeah, right. He's not going to punch me in my face, so I can make fun of him. That's how the internet works. So
pretty sure that's the only reason that Al Gore invented the internet was so he could talk about people and they couldn't punch him.
Right, punch him in the face. Yeah. He was super serial about that.
Yeah.
So no, it's just really tough doing this podcast thing. I'm not going to sit here and whine, but man, trying to make this stuff go while doing this stuff is tough. So we are going to continue doing this, and we're going to hope that you guys continue appreciating the work we do, appreciating what we do. So. Yeah, don't blow into the microphone.
Well, that was for the ASMR people.
Jesus, God. I thought you were being professional today. You lied. Oh boy. Anyway, no, it's tough. So we, for you guys out there running podcasts, and I've actually been a guest on a few podcasts, and a lot of them were a lot more set up and legit than we are. But I appreciate your effort on this because it is not the most easy thing to put on a podcast. It's tough. And then especially when you got the talent who just shows up here and sits down and goes, "So what do I do?
I'm here. Tell me what to talk about."
I gotta polish his dome beforehand because he doesn't want to go on with a dull dome. It's tough, man. Yeah. Like you should see the charcuterie spread that's out here because of this guy.
Well, it was in my rider. You signed it. I don't know.
That's what I get for not looking at the contract.
Right. Yeah.
Stupid Apple. Anyway, that's it. I'm complaining. So
we're getting it. Listen, it's getting better piece by piece. Yeah, we actually have the same microphone now.
Yep.
We have a soundboard.
do.
The next thing to address is that you're going to get a laptop that was not from 1998.
So thanks to Apple, they discontinue all their services after like 3 years of being out. Hey, let's make you buy a $1,500 laptop. Oh, by the way, you got to buy another $1,500 soon, but $2,000, whatever. So yes, I have to get a new laptop that'll support this, but we're getting there. And I don't believe this is what this podcast topic is about. So,
well, actually, that's a great segue. You know,
is it good?
You know, I'm gonna bring this one in. Watch this. Watch what I do here.
Yeah.
You know, that's called intentional obsolescence. That's the term for that. That when a company like Apple basically says, "Oh, hey, you know that iPhone 13 that you just got 2 years ago? Guess what? 2 more years, it's not going to be compatible with any of our plugs or."
So you can use it if you want, but you're not going to be able to charge it. Not going to be able to turn it on.
Best of luck. And so I'm gonna make a little bit of a segue here to the FDA because we're going to talk about some drugs today. And so the FDA, what happens is that they will announce a new drug and then make it harder for you to get the old drug, the generic version, either the old drug or the generic version of this drug, because they want you to buy this new drug that does the same thing but a little bit better, however they want to define that. And so with the FDA now on top of our mind, we're going to talk about GLP-1 drugs. So that's going to be like your Ozempics, right, that have come out, your Zepbound, if you will. Let's see. I'm going to give you some lists.
There's a whole bunch of
there's a whole bunch of them. Those
pill form, shot form.
Well, pill form, shot form. So list of GLP-1 drugs. Yeah, that's right. We're doing this live.
Love it. This is what it should be.
Oh, okay.
That's our producer right there.
Yeah.
That's our producer.
Rybelsus, that's another one right there. Right. Mounjaro. Yeah. So, so these are GLP-1, right? GLP-1 agonist drugs. So it is a glucagon-like peptide 1 agonist drug. So, I'm not going to just read off the internet. Y'all can read what a definition of a GLP-1 drug is. Essentially, it's a drug out there for weight loss. Specifically, it's going to be used for people who have been diagnosed with diabetes.
Type 2.
Type 2, right?
Type 1 is not.
Yeah, type 1 is not recommended because type 1, you're born with diabetes usually. That's what type 1 is. So type 2 is
lifestyle.
Right, so it's going to be more of a lifestyle issue. So, and so as of now, the results have been fantastic, and this is going to be more from my perspective of kind of a buyer beware type of. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit, but from that perspective, that's essentially what I'm going to talk about today. Because Donnie's got a little bit of a different side of the story that he's going to talk about that I just found out 3 minutes ago
on purpose.
So, which is great, fantastic. So this conversation is definitely going to be organic.
Yeah.
But
which we try to do a lot.
So, again, they're out there. They're doing great things. They're for people who have been diagnosed as morbidly obese or obese, type 2 diabetics, and to help get a control on their weight. They have been shown to have good effects on weight loss. There's also been a lot of other things that they've been shown to affect in terms of like your brain chemistry and changing behavior. So people who like basically a lot more motivated, people who never otherwise would go to the gym, all of a sudden just start picking up the habit of going to the gym, who start taking these drugs. There is some evidence out there in terms of like increased attention and focus. And basically, it's like a do everything drug. This is the panacea of drug that's out there, and so that's why it's such a hot topic, and that's why there are celebrities out there who are paying $1,000 a month to take it away from actual people who might actually need it, like diabetics. So, so with that said, that is the classification of the drug. And we are talking about it because we are a health and wellness themed podcast, I believe. And I want to leave it at that. There's the introduction in terms of kind of generally speaking what the drugs are, who they are designed for, and what they have been so far shown to be effective to address. So Donnie, Since I've been rambling on here,
Mhm.
why don't you take over?
So I will say this: Dr. Hayes and I both agree on this. We are inherently skeptics when it comes to new products on the market that haven't been fully tested to, I guess, our likings. Not even just the FDA's or whatever. And being mostly holistic natured, which I'm not 100% holistic. Western medicine has been a godsend to a lot of things that happen. It's also been a deterrent to a lot of things that go on, like when you deal with pharmaceutical medications and stuff. However, we try to stay as holistic as possible in the beginning until it becomes a problem where we move on. So the Ozempic, the Semaglutide, which is the name that we want to stay with because the brand names tend to be not as friendly to say, and nor do we want to support those brands because they're billionaire companies. But it has been shown. It was originally introduced for type 2 diabetics to help control A1C, which has been done a great job. It did a good job for a lot of people. And then all of a sudden they say, wait a minute, side effects, weight loss. Ooh, weight loss. Okay. And, it's all relative because a lot of people who are type 2 diabetics, when they get in that situation, most likely their BMI is outrageous, probably. Let's be honest. They're not going to be, sub 20 BMIs and be type 2 diabetics. How many times do you see that?
Very rarely.
Very rarely, right? We're talking lifestyle
Unless
issues.
they're about 3.5 feet tall.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're talking, that. But outside of that, we're not doing it. So when they say weight loss, when they're talking, they say, 5 to 10% of body mass over a 3-month period.
That is significant.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when it takes you out of you're about to die from a heart attack situation into, okay, now we can manage your body weight and your symptoms there. Okay, that's good. All right. So what he was talking about is I've been asked a few times about this, and I was curious, and I've done this in the past where I've just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do a little science experiment on myself. And I'm known for doing that, whether good or bad, indifferent. I actually started taking the semaglutide.
What?
Yeah, this is my second week, and while I'm not obese or morbidly obese, whatever, I am larger than my body probably would like based on my powerlifting years and stuff, and the habits that I've created of eating as much as I can, even though when I don't need to now. So I'm sitting here going, okay, I want to do an experiment on myself. I'm going to start it off in the first couple of weeks. I'm going to not change anything at all. Whatever exercise I do now is what I do. Whatever I eat is what I eat, and that's it.
Is this where do we need to put a disclaimer? Jamie, put a disclaimer on the bottom of the page of the screen where it says, please consult with your medical doctor.
Right, and I am not a medical doctor, obviously, because most medical doctors wouldn't be this dumb to do stuff to themselves. But here I am. I can do that because I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not expected to be this smart. So I've done it, and then so what I'm doing is logging, my diet, my exercise regimen, and my my weights, my body weight, and seeing where it goes. So I'm going to spend the first couple of weeks not changing anything, and then I'm going to transition. And I say transition on purpose. I'm not going to completely flip. I'm going to transition into a little bit more exercise regimen, adding in exercise, and then I'm going to transition some diet stuff and take out a few things that I should. Add in a few things that I should, but not on an epic scale. It's to the point where somebody's going to, say, screw it, go back to, 2 pizzas a day. So, and I'm trying to show that with new habits and this medication, I think you're going to see some good results. And then after you come off the medication, which everybody should, you're going to have these new habits that lead you into a better direction. And you're going to keep the results that you earned or you took from the medication and the new habits, and you move on with them, versus all the crash diets and all the other things they do where they just say, don't worry about your lifestyle, we'll take care of it. And as soon as you come off, your lifestyle actually adds more weight on because you're probably crashed your metabolism along the way, and your body was relying on injectable vitamins that they gave you and all these other crap stuff that people charge $500-600 a month to ruin people's lives. While they're trying to sell them salvation. So that's where I'm at.
Remind me, I zoned out.
Mhm. So did I.
Yeah. What are the first 2 weeks for again?
This is what we're going to call like a control test period to show that, in my opinion, and I think in your opinion as well, as most people who are in the know, that without change in habits, this medication is not worthwhile.
Okay, got it. So you have chosen a set of parameters, variables that you're going to measure, and you're going to compare them over this 2 week period compared to another 2
I'm gonna go a total of 2 to 3 months. I'm gonna go depending on where we go. And then I'm gonna transition. I'm gonna log the transitions as we go.
Okay.
And then the goal to the end is to be closer to a better nutritional plan and exercise regimen than I started with.
Okay. Just I know this is
It's going to be completely objective.
It sounds like it.
This is not going to be a peer-reviewed study I'm submitting to.
Well, I mean, now that you're talking about it, and I'm listening to the structure of the study, you listen. If I could offer my 2 cents on what I would like to see out of the study, I mean, if you're so willing to do this, I would like to see a little bit more length of time of the control, because we're going to do this for several months.
So extend it to a month of the normal to see what, as the body's trying to transition.
Right, because then I would like to then see, because if you're going to compare 2 weeks to 2 months,
sure,
there's obviously going to be a big difference.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, sure.
You do you.
You're right, and I probably didn't mean 2 weeks per se. I'm probably going to extend it to that point, but you're right. I should express exactly how I'm going to do, because you're right. I think 2 weeks is not enough time for the body to transition to this medication. That, by the way, you're only taking once a week.
Yeah.
It's a once a week sub-Q injection.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know if you're done talking. I guess I'm gonna talk now. Me talky. Listen, as you said, we are both of the same cloth when it comes to new fads that come onto the market or come into the health and wellness arena. So I deal more in terms of things that affect people's pain. But I, just being in this profession, am aware, and I was the one who kind of chose this topic today. So of being aware of the effects of other medications, other things on people's ability to have a more healthy lifestyle, be able to exercise more, exercise better. So that's why I was interested in it, because I've touched on this before, where I feel like we as a society just don't work hard enough when it comes to not only nutrition, but definitely just exercise in general. Yeah. People are afraid to do things because I feel like it might hurt, or it's tough. And now I definitely know that I sound like an old white man sitting on a porch. Get off my lawn, kids. Right? Where's the work ethic these days? But
back in my day,
yeah. Frankly speaking, that's how I feel, and so that probably right. I don't know. Maybe I lost a few patients there, but it is what it is. I feel like it's part of it is kind of like a shortcut. That is more of a minor concern to me in terms of like the short term. The long term is more what I have an issue with. Just because it's not because of what's been proven. It's more that we just don't know.
Been shown.
Right, it was not been shown. We just don't know what we don't know, because it just hasn't been out there long enough. They haven't had studies long enough to examine the long-term effects and what happens when people come off of these drugs for an extended period of time, because people are doing fantastic on the drugs and they're still on drugs. We don't have enough data as to what happens when people come off the drugs. So hopefully in your case study, you will go ahead and make that change in your brain chemistry, behavior patterns, so that your reward system is intact without the drug. And that is what I am hoping for with these drugs for certain individuals long term. The reason that I have all the faith in you is because you have been in the industry, you have trained to know your way around exercise, and you understand it. Whereas you have someone else who has because of lifestyle, and they can blame it on whatever they want to blame it on, why they got type 2 diabetes.
Doesn't matter. They're there where they're at.
Doesn't matter. They're there. But, it probably has little to do with...
It's not because they exercise too much.
Right. Exactly. So now they have this switch in their brain chemistry, but they didn't have it in the past where they could do it without the drugs.
So they became a dependency almost. Like, not even a real dependency, more like a mental dependency.
Was there a difference?
I would say like a chemical, like I guess we could argue that there maybe is.
How does your brain function?
For sure,
it functions. Yes, better living through chemistry, as my uncle likes to say. So
I've been there.
Yeah, right. So that's my biggest thing is we have this population, we have this society of people who I feel just don't put in the effort for a variety of things, but definitely when it comes to taking control of their health and hitting like the minimum guidelines for exercise to stave off systemic conditions like type 2 diabetes. And now the only way that they can get there is with this drug. So what happens when they get off the drug? So that's my biggest issue, right? As of right now.
So you're not just trying to form new habits, but you're actually having to learn new lifestyle.
Yeah.
Versus, I guess where I'm at, like you said, me, it's just changing habits. I understand the lifestyle. I understand what it takes. I've been there. I've done it.
Yeah.
Did bodybuilding. Did all that.
You have a proven track record.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody may not. So it may be a little skewed on my end. So this may actually be proving a point here, though. It's like it's not the drug that's going to be the long-term effect. The drug is going to be the jump start to get in there. But if you have a mindset change where you're willing to adapt and learn and do things, now you're not going to need the drug. It's not going to be therapeutic anymore once you get to that point. It's just going to be an assistant to get you to a point.
Yeah.
Now, once again, we're going back to your point. Do people actually want to put in the work, or would they rather just inject themselves or take a pill? See, I guess that's where my skew is going to be studied, because in my past and throughout this, I've put in the work. Done the things I needed to do to get where I needed to be. So I understand that. It just has to be jump started in my head, and they go from there. Yeah. So I understand. And like I said, this is purely just a subjective, or not subjective completely, just a study on myself to see what kind of results can be had if certain things are done. That way, when someone asks me a question, I can give a little bit more of an educated result and say, listen, this is purely me. Yeah. And the studies show this, but this is what happened with me. And that's what I want to do there. That way I can give an answer instead of saying, I don't know. Which is, by the way, if you one of my overused phrases, that's one of the most underused phrases in the English language is I don't know.
Right.
People sometimes I don't know. It's okay. It's not.
It's okay. It's okay even
in
our situation, having the experience and training that we've had, there are still times when someone will ask me a question and I'll say, I don't know.
The difference is we're going to find.
Right. But then I always follow it up with, but I'm going to find out for you.
Right.
Or I'm going to look into it. I'm going to research.
Even if it's somebody smarter than me that I can say, here, research this person, talk to this person. Yeah, I'll find the answer. But I don't know is an acceptable answer many times. But I don't want to do that. If I can avoid that by actually having a valid answer, I'm going to do it. And this is where I'm at there. So I'm not what we consider like a prime candidate for this. My body fat isn't as high as most people who they would want to give this to, but I'm not a not prime candidate. So
doing the math.
Yeah. So I'm somewhere right in between that I could probably still benefit from it. And then go say, and like I said, anyway, so that's where we're at on this. The long-term effects, it is a peptide, so we're not talking a hardcore chemical here, but the long-term effects still have yet to be seen. And I would say this, I truly mean this, and this is probably common knowledge to most people. Long-term use is going to have more probably long-term effects than short-term use of something. Just like we talk about the use of anabolics and these kind of things. Short-term use of anabolics isn't necessarily bad under certain circumstances. 3 years straight of pump and trend can have and will have negative effects that will last longer than you're injecting that trend. So this is probably similar here. We just don't know what they're going to be.
Yes. Yeah. Just because again, they've only really been on the market for I don't know a year-ish. I know Ozempic's been around for longer than that.
But it wasn't studied for weight loss purposes only at the time. It was studied for just blood glucose.
Right. And there is there is a process. It's not the FDA just just says here, yeah, sure, that drug looks good. Best of luck. There obviously are clinical trials leading up to it. You have to have with a large enough sample size, high enough enough of a power, a sizable power to the study before they just let them onto the market. So there is enough evidence on there for them to do what they say they're going to do, but they're just in terms of long term
for our purposes
studies. Yeah, right. Well, that's where for our purposes. I feel like it should be for a lot more people.
Sure, but we can't speak for other people. That's what I'm saying here.
That's where we. Sorry, I'm speaking for people. Yeah, but anyway, I for one am very excited for you to become the first male with double knee replacements to win the bodybuilding competition.
Hold on. I'm gonna hold my breath. Might want to start calling the police or the ambulance right now. Not police.
That's not what you're going to sound this for?
No.
Okay, well, what are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, because you can't
just want to be healthier, live longer, be around for your child.
Stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's stupid. Come on, go out on your shield. Let's go. Anyway, and just so people who don't know, for the Ozempic stuff, the semaglutide, the main driving factor here, it's not like completely complex. It's slowing down your digestive process and making, and to put it in layman's terms, making you feel full longer than you would before. So there is still a duty, an obligation on your end to not eat like an asshole. This isn't a wonder drug to do it. You have to adjust yourself. Unlike I've seen people that have the stomach stapled before, where they or what is it called? Where they gastric bypass. Yes. Yeah. And they've found ways around it. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like, okay, I'm just going to eat small all day. What are you doing? So the same thing with this. It's going to slow down your digestive process, make you feel full. Maybe longer, but you still have to know, okay, I have to cut my portions down. I have to eat a little bit better foods, that kind of stuff. That's going to be it. Now, will this exacerbate the effect of healthier lifestyle? Most likely. Studies show yes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to completely absolve you from being healthy.
I guess just to fully clarify, just to fully clarify my stance. Like listen, if this helps you out, it allows you to is that my phone? God, man,
it's your phone.
Our friend Spam is calling us. Yeah. If it allows you to reach your fitness goals, more power to you. There's with everything that we put into our body, from fruits and vegetables to GLP-1, anything else, there are going to be risks and rewards. So I just want anyone who is thinking about this to do the proper research and to acknowledge that there could be long-term risks or adverse effects with the drug. Maybe all it is that for the rest of your life you have to take this drug, otherwise you're going to have a rebound effect. Hopefully that's worst case there. I hope it's not the case at all. I'm not likening this to supplements, but I do take an array of supplements to help with my training, to help with my recovery, to help with my general, to supplement my diet. And I'm not going to put anything in my body until I have done some level of research on it, or at least spoken to people that I consider experts on that type of stuff. So. I'm not claiming to be an expert on this. I don't think you are either.
Nope. And I've spoken to people who weren't experts but are educated on it and actually have utilized it and prescribed it. Medical doctors, nurse practitioners, that kind of stuff. And everybody has the similar mindset, positive thoughts we're looking to the future to see what happens.
And some people, to your point, they can't wait. And so they have to do it now.
So that's the risk-reward analysis.
That's the risk-reward analysis.
Are you going to die of a massive heart attack in the next 2 years if you don't get your weight into loss? Then we trade a possible future there because a guaranteed death is not what we're looking for here. Yeah. So yes, if you're someone who is their BMI and their body fat is just out of control to the point where they are pending doom, yes, this is obviously the better choice. You do whatever you can to extend the life, and then we worry about what's going on later. But and like I said, that's why I've said I'm not a prime candidate for this stuff because I'm not a cardiovascular risk right now. But think about I say this all the time, and this sounds morbid, but how many 75-year-old, 3,300-pound men do you know? Don't know many myself.
A lot.
Correct. Yeah. So I had a purpose for being big at some point. Now it's post-purpose, and now we say, okay, let's figure out a way. And if this helps me create new habits and slow my digestive process down so I don't eat as much habitually and change my habits, then fantastic. And also at the same time, I get a chance to say, hey, listen, if done properly, this stuff is actually not too bad. You still have your potential long-term effects that we don't know about, but as far as effect in risk reward, it's not horrible. But that's the best case scenario. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, they say it didn't work. Nothing worked. It was a horrible thing for me. So for people who are not extremely obese, maybe this isn't the thing to do.
And you heard it here, folks, for your 2032 Masters, Mr. Olympia, Donnie.
Boy, that'd be one hell of a cold day.
All right. Well, I think that's about our time.
That's good, man. That was a good podcast. Right. It was good. I love talking about these things that are hot topics. Just so the people that are scrolling, my goal on this is maybe if not everybody watching it live, but if people are actually searching for this stuff and they come up with this and they'll watch it and get a little bit more educated on it, and that's the goal. If you're purposely out there looking for information, then you're already halfway through the battle. You're thirsty for knowledge. So go out there and use your bullshit meter and make sure it's good stuff, and then find it and then make decisions on your own. I think that if we could teach everybody to have that mentality when it comes to their health, jeez, it would be such a better world. Yeah. Instead of just relying on whatever advertisement told you to do.
Well, then we'd be even more overpopulated than we are, and then we'd have to start, enforcing.
It's very Bill Gates.
For shit.
Who am I sitting next to? Good Lord.
Now, next episode, we're going to talk about Thomas Malthus.
There it goes. It's always something.
That one was for my 10th grade history teacher.
Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah, he's probably dead. Yeah. Anyway,
from Ozempic. And we're full circle.
Yeah. We'll talk about Dr. Horton another time. He had a PhD. He was a history teacher in high school, and he forced everyone to call him doctor.
In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
And he was a fun guy at the bar, wasn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. We're just like the third time we're trying to
wrap this up.
We're gonna go.
Talking? Yeah, we're gonna go because Dr. Hayes has to get back to doing doctor stuff.
All right. You can see me. I work here. This is where I work. There. I own that place. You have aches and pains in the greater Tampa Bay area, here to help. So I guess we'll start talking more about what we do, right? Right. Here, we're actually gonna wrap up. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I work a lot with CrossFitters, powerlifters. Basically people who want to pick up a barbell, put it down, but they can't because they're in pain. That's what I do. Those are the people that I help. Premier Physical Therapy, Instagram, Run Tampa Bay. See ya.
And Strength and Performance Institute is a local strength and performance facility for athletes and people who are looking to return to sport and do other things after they've post-injury, which where Dr. Hayes and I work very well together. We after they're done with the medical side, we take them further. And then if something happens in sport with my athletes, we transition to somebody who I know is going to take care of them and get them back into the game. So it's a very good back and forth here. So if you're looking for a facility to train at for athletes or anybody looking to regain strength and balance and performance, we're your place. So that's it. Good with that?
I'm good.
I'm going to go ahead. I think I stumbled through that a little bit. But
touch the button.
Just go to the website, check it out.
Yeah.
We're out. Subscribe, please. Tell your friends. We're cool people.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.